I got a word for y'all today. Great Tuesday, by the way. I want to talk about that movie Castaway. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's in like my top 3, if not my top 1. Castaway is starring Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is the same guy that plays Forrest Gump in Forrest Gump. But in this movie, this guy is in a plane crash. He's stuck on an island, and he spends years trying to make it back home. And in this film, he's on an island. He's trying to build a raft to get back into the ocean and make it back home. While he's there, he has to cope and has to eat. He has to drink. You know, you see him eat fish. He grabs it straight out the ocean, or whatever tool he built to use it. You see him starting his own fire. He's basically living where he is. He lives on this island in survival mode. And y'all know, if you ever been in survival mode, you got to do what you got to do, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm sounding like the old heads, baby. But Tom Hanks never gave up. These people back home where he was from, I cannot remember what state he's from in the film, they had already had his funeral. His wife had already been reconnected. She had been connected with another man. I think she got married. And this man did not give up. Time after time after time again, he knew that he wanted to get back home, and he did. Through the grace of God, because it had to be God that saved him, this man was able to get a raft, get out of the ocean. He fell asleep, and I think a whale in the water had woke him up, and when the whale in the water had woke him up, he started screaming or something, and the whale basically carried him to the surface, or high enough, risen enough so that people on the ship can see him. And then it made the news. They got him all cleaned up, got him a haircut, and eventually he saw his old business partners again, old friends, and he saw his wife, former wife, but he ended up giving her, you know, they ended up kissing in the scene, and who knows what happened. Maybe we need a Castaway too. But all I know is, I mean, even wife said, hey, I moved on, but even after he was deciding to leave, he reversed, and she came outside and gave him a kiss. It's a beautiful story, and I love that film. You know, it goes up there with the film Men of Honor for me, with Cuba Gooding Jr. It goes up there with Pursuit of Happiness. Some people have already had your funeral in life. Even if you don't physically die, they're already waiting for you to quit. And Tom Hanks did not quit in Castaway. Will Smith character in Pursuit of Happiness, he did not quit. His wife had already left him and his child. You know what I'm saying? Men of Honor, they didn't think Cuba Gooding Jr. was going to make it from underwater, putting that, assembling that tool he had to put together in diving school, and he did. The man that Cuba Gooding Jr. plays. See, some people in life who are already giving up on you. They waiting for you to do something stupid and get locked up. They waiting for you to die. They waiting for you to commit suicide. Nah, that ain't the end of the story. Don't you give up. And I'm not speaking from just what I saw in movies, but people have already had my funeral. Some people have already had your funeral. They just waiting. That's why so many people show up at these funerals, because they was already anticipating you was going to die out. Or this was for what I was filming the other day, the break room. I just decided to leave it on the wall. But some people are waiting for you to die out. They're waiting for you to give in. They're not expecting for you to come back home. Make it back home. And if you are an incarceree, I want to root you to make it back home. If you're somebody who you're in the military, I want you to pray to God every day, pray to the Lord every day that you make it back home. If you're somebody who's trying to move back to a state that you've been in previously, and where your family at, where your loved ones at, where your children's at, keep children at, make it back home. And if you stuck somewhere in the desert, in the forest, on an island, build your raft like Tom Hanks did in Castaway, and keep casting and make it back home. That's what we gonna do. We gonna make it back home, baby. Alive. We gonna make it back home. Well, we're going to make it back home with a testimony. We're going to make it back home. That's it for today. Great Tuesday to you. Keep it there.